We are here live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman. I'll be bringing you your broadcast tonight. Thoughts and prayers from the Coast to Coast family are with Brett Wheeler. He wasn't able to make the call tonight, family emergency, so we're definitely thinking about him and hope everything is okay at home. But thanks for joining us here tonight. Race number 3 of the Dagen Korynta Memorial Week. Running charity week. All proceeds go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. If you're interested in donating, please check out the c2crl.com and you can find the link to post in Dagen's name. It's a real cool thing we've been doing this week. Pretty much everybody has donated their winnings back from what I believe, and it's always a good cause running with these guys here. Got a big show for you tonight. Got 2 75-lap races. Not too sure what we're going to be able to do after the first one because they're going to be in the same session. Not sure if we're going to be able to pull interviews up or not. I'll try to keep an eye out on if maybe we just do the leader or the guy who won or something real quick, because I can always throw him back in his Discord. We'll have to see what happens. But going to be running heats to start out the night. Just a quick 6-lap heat after they go qualifying. We'll qualify. We'll do, like I say, 6-lap heats, and that'll set the grid for, it'll probably be listed as a consolation, but that's just how we had to set it up here this evening. Keep it all in the same session. That way the track will carry over. We're going to go 75-lap consolation, which is the first feature, and the final 75 laps, which will be gridded in the order of the first 75 finishing order. So first 75 laps, nothing really on the line, just kind of bragging rights, go get it done. But at the same time, you want to be able to start towards the front for the pay race. Leader will get $20, or the winner will get $20.24. The second is 15 and 10 is third. I could be wrong, but something pretty close to that. But like I said, just most of us throw it back in towards the Make-A-Wish Foundation anyways. It's just a lot of fun to go out here, and no points on the line, so Rubbin's Racing, you go out here and beat up on people a little bit. But right now we got Brandon Templeton out on the track. He's currently second fastest. Take a look at Isaac Salas bouncing around. I think he's actually pulling off. Took Kelly Wheeler. He's currently 7th on the speed charts. Everybody I'm clicking to seems to be pulling off here, so try Jake Henry in the 171 here. Just right on board, take a look at what the track looks like right now. Pretty fresh. Just a little slick spot on the entry of 3 and 4, but that's not going to affect them too much. It'll roll out of the gas a little extra, but it shouldn't be a lot. You see, you can drive in pretty hard though there on the bottom of 1 and 2. There's a lot of track left right now, but I imagine as we get with 20 to go in this last 75-lap segment, there is going to be a ton of grooves on the track. Almost everything's going to be gone. So wherever you can make it work, you'll be able to do it. Knoxville's a real wide track and very fast track, so it promotes a lot of good hard racing. Swap back over to B-Temp here. So currently second right now in the speed chart. Just to put in perspective, the times have fallen off pretty significantly. The top time, as you see, Isaac Salas with a 18.4. His last time out was a 19.5. Brandon Templeton's currently running 19.4s. So almost a little over a full second, actually. They fall off on this. It's not going to be, it's definitely, we're going to see much more fall off than that, I'd imagine. Be down towards probably almost the low 20s. But we'll have to see as it goes on. Look at Dean Reynolds at the Super Dirt Car Series. He's around these all the time. He's definitely one of the most improved drivers around here. Every time they come in these big blocks or small blocks now, it seems like he's always in the top 5. He might be a surprise to pull out a win tonight. kiss machine here. Yeah, if you've been checking us out this week, don't forget New Year's Eve. Marty Sakala hosts the annual. He's our Monday Night Madness announcer. He puts on the annual New Year's Eve race, so come check that out. That's always a lot of fun. It's a lot of laughs, maybe a little cursing in the Discord too, but we behave ourselves, and it's all about having fun at the end of the day. Like I say, these charity weeks are just about raising money for a good cause and getting to blow off some steam when the points don't count. Templeton. He's been putting non-stop laps out here on the track. See, he's really testing that high line though, trying to wear it in, trying to keep the car as straight as he can, not really cranking it there on entry as he went high and 3 and 4, just trying to keep the speed up. And there he's just gonna mess around with the slider. Wasn't able to throw it fully, or he probably would have hit Butch in the door, so he kind of backed out of that. This time he's going to keep it down on the bottom. Just try to work on him a little bit. And you know, this is a time where, obviously, warm-ups here, but driver's great practice here for Brandon. You know, somebody's in your lane, you got to try to, you know, figure out a way around, because if you mess up in qualifying and you put yourself back in the heat, it's not necessarily real easy to pass on a track like this right now. You want it to be beat up a little bit more. You want the guy up top to not have as much tact to be able to hammer down on that throttle. But right now, it seems like if you kind of hold the middle, it's real tough to get around. Right under it here. So you're just trying to keep that wheel as straight as you can, not really trying to fight it. There, center off. You'll see him crank it right, and then he'll straighten it out. Trying to keep it straight, having to turn it right every now and then as he gooses up the throttle and gets a little sideways. But you see, you know, you hear him talk about it in the Cars movie when you're a little kid, or if you're a parent, to watch out with your kid. Totally true. You know, sometimes you got to turn right to go left. You go in there, you crank it in there hard left, and give it a little gas, and from there you're steering it with the throttle. It's a little different, you know, concept unless you've actually tried it in person, but you're not really ever turning left once you already set the car in. You're basically just trying to keep the wheel as straight as you can. Every flip on that wheel costs you a little bit of time. Oh man, see, everyone I'm clicking on. Right now it's looking like those two, Butch Baker and Kevin Templeton, are the only two on the track right now. So keep watching this one. But if you're out there watching tonight, definitely let me know in the comments who you're rooting for, who to keep an eye out for. Let us know where you're watching from. $7:59. Most of the cars are sitting in the pits. I imagine we have a driver's meeting going here, so as soon as we get something going on the track, I'll make sure and click it over to them. But as of right now, just everybody's taking those final bathroom breaks, final cigarette breaks, and maybe that final pee break. Yeah, once again, if you're just joining in, race number 3 here of the Dagen Korynta Memorial Week. I believe, like I say, we're in a driver's meeting right now, but just a little bit about the night. Once the driver's meeting's over here, they'll take them out. They'll get 2 laps each of qualifying. Then we're going to run a 6-lap heat, just real quick. And then we're going to run the first of 2 75-lap features. So they'll might be listed as the Consi, it might say on your screen whenever my grid's up, because that's how iRacing has it. But it's going to be the first feature of the night. We're going to run 2 75-lap features. So the first one will be in the Consi, and then we'll come right back at you with number 2, and that'll be gridded in the finishing order of the first. So let's go ahead. They're going to give you some qualifying action here. Dagen out on the track. Let's ride on board with him for a lap here. You see he's going to run real high on the exit of 3 and 4, trying to get all that speed, keeping it as straight as he can. Really keeping the wheel straight, not fighting it near like he was in practice when we saw him ride behind Butch Baker, clear track, just gets to kind of control it. He's fighting it a little bit. Let's see where he's at on the timing sheet here as he comes on by. Isaac Salas is going to actually take the pole. Brandon Templeton second. Let's go Isaac Salas here in his lap number 2. Good line by Isaac in the middle of 3 and 4. Is it going to be faster? No, going to be a little slower than lap number 1, but still good enough for pole here. Dean Reynolds currently P4 here in lap number 2. Oh, well, maybe actually he may have already run 2. Let's go back and check this. Jeff Fitzpatrick here in the 90. Let's see Brian Lawson here. Not as straight as he probably would have liked it. I imagine he lost some time. As you see, he's running a little bit higher than his teammate Isaac. Let's see how that works out here on the speed charts. Not really going to improve. Going to stay P24 right now. Trevor Giroux in the 075. He's going on board. Close as that wall, they ended up making the 0x and nullifying the lap. It's all about getting that speed and just fanning it out. You don't want to be jerky on the straightaway. You're losing time. Trevor Giroux, though, that took him to the pole there as we saw him flood out. That was a quick time for Trevor. What a lap. I was focused on the steering wheel and the onboard. But what a lap there for Trevor. One of the first guys I think we've seen that his second lap was actually faster than the first. So big run there for Trevor. Everybody else has already put in their times. So I'll go ahead and read you off the top 10 here real quick. Trevor Giroux, Isaac Salas, Dean Reynolds, Steven Spies in 4th, Michael Vitale in 5th, Dylan Kinsey in 6th, Mark Gilbert in 7th, Brandon Templeton in 8th, Jack Clevenger in 9th, and Dan McLaren rounding out the field in 10th. So looking like we do have an invert here for the heats. So let's go ahead and bring it up here. Starting on the pole, the 88 of Dan McLaren. On the outside of him, the 017 of Mark Gilbert. Starting in number 3rd, the 55 of Steven Spies. On the outside of him, the 075 of Trevor Giroux. Starting in the 5th position, the 97 of Butch Baker. On the outside of him, the 41 of Pat Boyce. Starting in the 7th position, the 99 of Billy Roberts. Starting on the outside of him is the 513 of Jeff Barker. Rounding out the field in row number 5 is going to be Donovan Ross in the 02 and Gary Alford in the 94. I believe everybody is going to make the show tonight, so these are just helping set the field here for the first of our 75-lap features there. So everyone's going to make it, but I'm sure you're still going to see people get the elbows out and try to race hard for this victory, because the win right here gives you a P1 starting spot in the feature, and no guy in here is going to turn that down. See, pace car is off, and the 88 car, Dan McLaren's going to lead him here to your green flag.
Green, green, green.
Green is out and they fire. Good start for the 017 of Mark Gilbert. Is he going to be able to stay beside him on the door? He is. Steven Spies, meanwhile, able to clear for third place. Oh, contact between the front two. Mark Gilbert getting in the back of the 88. It's going to open up the door for Steven Spies. Really going to throw it in there and park it on the 88. Dan McLaren tries to cross back over. And he's going to throw him it right back. Steven Spies, meanwhile, going to cross over and make contact on the way through. Steven Spies is going to be your leader, lap number 2. Meanwhile, back here in 4th place, 5th place actually, Trevor Giroux battling Pat Boyce for your 4th position. And Mark Gilbert looking on the outside of Dan McLaren here for P2. Looks like the outside is maybe where you want to be right now. Dan tries to throw that slider, but Mark is just putting it up one lane higher. He says, Dan, I don't care what you do. I'll just drive it up to the wall. As he does it again, they make a little contact as Dan tries to throw the slider. That's really going to hurt Dan. Dan McLaren now, meanwhile, back to 4th. Pat Boyce with a big run up 3 spots from your 6th position up to 3rd. Good improvement for him. Gary Offit as well from 10th up to 7th. Meanwhile, we're here on the white flag. Steven Spies, your leader, with a comfortable lead as we go through 3 and 4. Take a battle back here. Look at 4th, Dan McLaren and Trevor Giroux. Trevor's going to get a big run coming out of 4th. And Dan McLaren's going to fall back to 5th. The top 5 is going to be Steven Spies, Mark Gilbert, Pat Boyce, Trevor Giroux, and Dan McLaren. Your starting grid for heat number 2. If on the pole we have the 088 of Trent Verstraeten, and on the outside him the 31 of Brandon Templeton. The inside of row number 2, the 213 of Michael Vitale. On the outside of him, the 05 of Isaac Salas. Starting in P5, the 56 of Randy Shreves. On the outside of him, the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. Starting in P7, the 93 of Jason Butterfield. On the outside of him, the 90 of Jeff Fitzpatrick. Rounding out the field in row number 5, we have the 4 of Greg Parmalee and the 96 of Chris Alvey. I believe we may have had, sorry that the camera was on scenic. I happened to click the only person that didn't grid. Jeff Fitzpatrick did not make the grid. So that's why the camera never rotated here. So the pace car should be getting ready to pull off here. Gonna go in the first of 6 laps. The 088 of Trent Verstraeten is going to lead us to the green flag here.
Green, green, green.
Able to throw a big slider on Brandon Templeton in the 31 to clear him. I don't think you're going to see Brandon Templeton try to throw a slider back here. I think he watched, paid good attention to that heat. I think you want to be up high. If anything, you kind of want to force the issue if you trust the guy below you to not run you in the wall going down the straightaway. The high side is definitely where you want to be, as they're single file through the front 6. And back to the front 7 really as we fall back to Jason Butterfield. Just the train right now. You're kind of seeing it cycle out. People saw in that first heat, you didn't want to get caught down there. And as soon as I say that, Isaac's going to be aggressive. But is Michael Vitale going to be able to make him pay for that aggression? As Isaac was able to slot back in line going down the backstretch, but Michael's going to try to keep it up high, not able to get there as Isaac's able to shut the door. Not really anywhere to go, but I applaud him trying here as we're 3 wide for a little bit. But Michael is going to get a big run. Let's go on board with Michael here. Watch the front 3. Well, a little contact with the 5, we saw it, but he checked up, let him gather it. I think Isaac sees now in the rearview mirror full of Michael, who we're on board with, not really able to go down and peak low if the guy's right there behind you. He's just able to slide in so much or so quickly. But Isaac Salas, meanwhile, going up high, able to beat Brandon Templeton at the line, and we're on the white flag lap. Isaac Salas looking to easily have Brandon Templeton cleared right now for second. Is he going to be able to have anything for the leader here as we go through 3 and 4? Does not look like it. As Trent Verstraeten in the 088 is going to bring him to the checkered flag as your winner is Trent Verstraeten in the 088, followed by Isaac Salas in the 05. Brandon Templeton in the 31, Michael Vitale in the 213, and rounding out the top 5 is 56 of the nation. Alrighty, heat number 3. Starting on the pole is the 118 of Logan Wentz. On the outside of him, the 78 of Jack Clevenger. Starting on the inside of row number 2, the 083 of Dylan Kinsey. On the outside of him in P4, the 79 of Dean Reynolds. Starting in position number 5, the 107 of Samuel Bachman. On the outside of him, the Professor, John Hine, in the 71. Starting on the inside of row number 4, the 122 of Brian Dickens. On the outside of him, the 76 of Harold Klump. Rounding out the field in row number 5 is going to be the 9 of Brian Lawson and the 171 of Jake Henry. I feel like you definitely got to keep an eye out on that 78 of Jack Clevenger. He knows how to drive these things, and top's where you want to be, but you got to make sure you're getting that good start if you're the guy in P2. If you let the leader get a big run and you don't pinch him going down into turn 1 and you let him throw that slider, it's going to be an uphill battle. So you got to go down there and you really got to hold him on the bottom. Let's see what they can do here.
Green, green,
so
green.
Green flag comes out. Good jump for the 78 of Jack Clevenger. Able to do basically exactly what I said there. Run the middle, not let Logan float up. And, oh, we have an accident. Let's take a look at this real quick. It's going to be Dylan Kinsey in the 083. Contact with John Hine. Meanwhile, back up front, got Jack Clevenger just holding it down, trying to run the high side, but Dean Reynolds going to run a little higher, just trying to keep that momentum up. Let's go on board here with Dean. He is catching him, fastest car on the track right now. Love these paint schemes Dean comes out here with that purple really pops. You see big run there in 3 and 4. Not as good of an exit as Jack Clevenger, but definitely made up time on entry. But he's really going to throw it in here now. Let's go. Let's check out the blimp here. Is there 2 to go? Or yeah, 2 to go here. No, 3 to go. Sorry. Reynolds just not able to really be aggressive and try to make the move down low as Logan Wentz is right behind him, running real high and wanting to as close as he can to that wall. And Logan's got a gap behind him. He's somebody who can think about being aggressive, but not a lot of room to park a car in between Dean and Jack right now as we're coming to the white flag this time by. Jack Clevenger seems to have this locked up as the battle right now is really for second. Logan Wentz all over Dean Reynolds, going to throw it in there. Not going to float it up and touch him, going to really yank it down. And there you see if that's going to be your top 3 is your winner tonight. Jack Clevenger in the 78, followed by Dean Reynolds in the 79, Logan Wentz in the 118, Samuel Bachman in the 107, and Harold Klump in the 76. Alrighty, so this is it. This is going to be your first 75 lap feature here. So we run through this here as quick as I can. Starting on the pole, the 55 of Steven Spees on the outside of him, the 088 of Trent Verstraeten. Starting in third, the 78 of Jack Clevenger. On the outside of him, the 017 of Mark Gilbert. Starting in the fifth position, the 05 of Isaac Salas. On the outside of him, the 79 of Dean Reynolds. Starting in the seventh position, the 41 of Pat Boyce. On the outside of him, the 31 of Brandon Templeton. Starting in the ninth position, the 118 of Logan Wentz. On the outside of him, the 075 of Trevor Giroux. Starting in P11, the 213 of Michael Vitale. On the outside of him, the 107 of Sam Bachman. Inside of row 7, the 88 of Darren McLaren. On the outside of him, the 56 of Randy Sheens. Inside of row number 8, the 76 of Harold Plump. Outside of him, 513 of Jeff Barker. Inside of row number 8, the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. On the outside of him, the 71 of John Hine. Inside of row number 10, the 94 of Gary Offit. On the outside of him, 93. Rounding out the rest of the field is Brian Lawson in the 9, Billy Roberts in the 99, Jake Henry in the 171, Greg Parmley in the 4, Chris Alvey in the 96, Donovan Ross in the 02, Butch Baker in the 97, Dylan Kinsey in the 083, Brian Dickens in the 122, Jeff Fitzpatrick in the 90, and Steven Spees, actually, your pole sitter, did not make the grid. Not sure what's going on there. Alrighty, so lots of action tonight. I'm going to, by myself, going to do my best to keep up with it here, try to follow it all. But it's definitely all about Dagen Korynta Memorial Week this week. That's what it's truly about. And the Make-A-Wish Foundation, they do wonderful things. Many families out there who are sadly suffering something very tragic. So, you know, they try to bring a little light to the family, and that's what we're trying to do tonight by raising money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So if you're watching and interested in donating, please check out c2crl.com. You can find the PayPal link to donate on the website, and definitely much appreciated. Here as the pace car's off and getting ready to go green here is the 78 of Jack Clevenger is now the new pole. So
Green.
the 55 not making the grid. Good run by Jack Clevenger, able to keep it on the bottom, but not able to float up. I thought he'd try to come up on exit. The bottom is not where you want to be, but Isaac Salas is all over him right now. He's trying to will him to get up there. And come on, Jack, make it work. Meanwhile, 2 and 3 wide all throughout the field. Let's go back. Let's take a look at some of the racing action back here. Is Dan McLaren on the bottom. 3 wide, almost 4 wide coming out of 4. So on board here, see what this is what it's like to ride with Jeff Barker here and all this traffic. As you see, 3 wide, car's a little sideways in front of him. You see the checkup, you got to react quick because there is a caution out. Greg Parmley, let's take a look here. Checking up a little bit in front of him. Bounced off of him going on the straightaway. He's going to turn the 83 of Dylan Kinsey. Tough break for him. It's right on board with him here. Here we go. Let's go on the overview. Dylan Kinsey in the yellow and black car. You see he's just minding his own business. Little contact. Car's on the outside, and he just turned. Nothing for Dylan to do. Graphics trying to reset itself. Trying to figure out who this leader is for you guys. I believe it's still. It's got Steven Spees listed as the leader on the grid. Just finally pulled out, but that's not it. Okay, finally rotated back to it. Should be Jack Clevenger. There we go. Alright, had to get a quick drink here. Should be getting ready here to line up double file. don't know if the lights are off on the police car just yet. Tough to tell from this angle. Yeah, lights are off. There we go. We got a good shot up there. So should be going green this time by. Jack Clevenger really needs to get a good start here on the restart. Able to get a great jump actually on the 5 of Isaac Salas. Kind of caught him napping. Now Isaac might be in a battle here for second place if Trent was straight, and Trent's able to clear him, but not able to do it. Isaac stays strong on the outside. Brandon Templeton, though, as we saw back there, he was really put it up there high, able to get on the outside of Dean Reynolds here. Looking in the middle now, 3 wide. If we go through 1 and 2, it's Mark Gilbert on the outside, Dean Reynolds on the bottom. Dean Reynolds, I imagine, he played this card the other night. He's probably going to stick on that bottom, I'd imagine, for the first 30 or so laps. He really wants to save those tires. No one really knows. We haven't done a super long race like this yet, or at least in this league for us. And we don't really know how the tires are going to age, so better to be safe than sorry in this first one. Use it as a good test session. Jack Clevenger, still your leader, about a half a second gap over Isaac Salas, but Isaac is slowly trying to get out that fishing pole and reel him in here. Battles all throughout the pack. Let's take a look at John Hine right now in P11. He's currently your biggest leader. 7 spots in the Hornets nest. And you see how close they are. One mistake, and I mean that's wadding up a bunch of cars. So hold on, boys. Little contact with the 71, and I believe that's the 075 of Trevor Giroux as there's a caution out. Caution is out. Let's see if we can figure out what this is. See if we can find this here. I'm not too sure what that caution was all about from iRacing. Nothing popped up for me there on the grid. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, not going to be much help on that caution. I'm not too sure what brought that out. Maybe someone just got a little sideways enough to set the iRacing and make iRacing mad, but Logan Wentz dropped to the back. Oh wait, no, actually Jack Clevenger dropped to the back here. Let's go back real quick here. See if I can see if maybe he got... Oh, okay, that is what it is. Wow, contact between your leaders didn't pop up. He was able to keep it going. I guess that's why it didn't register. It was real quick. Wow, contact between your leaders. Tough break for Jack Clevenger. That's may not be happen. That's going to happen. We're here for Charity League, boys, so it's all about Dagen, Korynta, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation tonight. Big jump there for the 5 of Isaac Salas, able to tow along Mark Gilbert right behind him. Mark Gilbert loves that, able to go from 3rd to 2nd, no problem. Should easily be able to float up there in front of Trent, and doesn't no problem. Trent thinks about throwing a counter, but Mark goes down there and blocks it. Trent's going to float right back up, but he's not going to float back up in time. I think tried to get a little too aggressive and may catch him here if he's not able to get up in front of Sam Bachman. He's not going to be able to. Bachman with a big run coming out of the corner. Let's ride on board here.
Caution, yellow flag.
Oh, caution is out. Looking like Jason Butterfield here. Let's take a look here. Jason Butterfield in the pink and black car on the bottom. Oh, just a little possibly net code. Let's check this out again. Let's do a little different view here. Let's go up top. The drone cam here. You can see, I mean, you had a fender there. Maybe you want to lift out a little this early into the race. Got a long way to go, but he's firm on holding his line. And see, that's what happens. Is not everyone. iRacing does give you the option to run a mirror, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I do turn the mirror on just to help other people out, is the way I see it, because I have to run a single monitor. I don't have triples or VR, but some guys don't run the mirror, and you have to account for guys not running a mirror. In real dirt racing, there is no mirror. You cannot have a mirror. So you're trusting off sound, and if you see a guy floating up in front of you, he didn't necessarily do that to be a jerk or do that to block you. Maybe he didn't hear you. There's a lot going on, so it's almost to the point where if you're the car behind and you don't have that fender to the door where he can see you, sometimes you got to live the race another day. Maybe think about backing out as you see, wadded up 2 cars there. So it's just take it and adjust for the future. Lights are off on the pace car, I believe, since they didn't get a full lap in. Maybe it was set to 3 cautions. That's what we do in the league, so it might be single file restarts from here on out. Here's Isaac Salas in the 5. Gets a great jump.
Green flag.
To get a big start. Samuel Bachman, the first car to look real high. These things, they're not really up to speed, that turn 1 and 2. That's why you see guys like Isaac and them really hug the bottom and try to take the shortest way around. Is from this point on, the high side is pretty much where I want to be after you're up to full song in a lap. But I think Bachman might have committed himself a little too early and let Trent get in a battle with him. But he's going to pay off in the long run. Going back to Butch Baker, he's currently your biggest mover right now, up 11 spots in the 97. Now he's working on the 171 with Jake Henry. Starting to check out just a little bit. Kind of impressed with the way he's doing it too. Doing it on the bottom, really saving the tires. He's fast right now. If you're trying to work your way through the field, it's giving you great motivation, because a lot of guys in the mid-pack, as you saw, are kind of committed to the high side. But Isaac is currently your quickest car on the track, getting it done on the bottom. John Hine up 10 spots. He's in 8th position. He's trying to work on Pat Boyce for your 7th spot. Let's go on board with John Hine. Oh, maybe a little contact from behind. Looks like we got yeah. You can see the car hop there. Contact with him and Randy Schroeder. Not too sure what happened there to start it off, but you saw Johnny had a car in front of him, nowhere to really go. You could tell he got bumped from behind. We're hearing cars faintly kiss the wall going into 1 and 2. That's that's only going to get louder. That cushion's going to go up there, and we're not going to have much room out there. Here's Henry, I believe. Let's take a look at this real quick. He's got Butch Baker behind him. Just get contacted coming off the corner, and no caution. No caution for that. It's a tough break for Jim. Meanwhile, back up front, your leader Isaac Salas out to about a 3/4 of a second lead over second place Mark Gilbert. Trent Verstraeten in third. Brandon Templeton behind him. Dean Reynolds in fifth with Samuel Bachman breathing right down his neck. One little mistake from that 79, and that 7 is right there to pounce. It's going board. You can tell though, that's what I was talking about. You can just see the patience. See the little bit of run than Dean going in there and checks up. Doesn't run him over. Just does the smart thing. He's really. Why ruin two guys who were running for a top 5 on lap 23? That's the way to use your head. This thing, sadly, as much as I hate to say this, ladies and gentlemen, but, probably going to have 1 or 2 more cautions before the end of the night. So just got to make sure you're there at the end. There's no reason to be real aggressive right now. Check out Jack Clemens. Remember, he was your leader in the 5 car of Isaac Salas. Made a little contact, and that sent him back. And see how hard it is to make your way through the field. Not, only up to their 29 cars on the track right now. Only up 7 spots out of the cars in the lead lap. He's definitely had some time, but it's just so hard to pass. Track position is such a big deal.
Caution, yellow flag.
Caution's out. Dan McLaren, it looks like. Go on board here. Oh, tough break for Dan in there. Let's look one more time. Let's ride off. I'll give you another view off the bumper here. Let me get this back. Alright, just a little technical difficulty here. Comes up, and I mean, John was there. That's one of those. Maybe could have backed out, but I mean, he had a little bit there, and nowhere for John to go up against the wall. Tough break for those two. Third of the way through this first 75 lap feature here. Isaac Salas, your current leader. A quick rundown there of the top 5. We got Isaac Salas, Mark Gilbert in the 017, the 88 of Trent Verstraeten, Brandon Templeton in the 31, and Dean Reynolds right now in the 79. Dean Reynolds did have Sam Bachman all over him there as that caution came out. There's a good battle for 5th. And just to see if this stays single file here, if we're going to go back to double. If it stays single file here, it's big beneficiaries are those guys who, in the odd positions, who would have been stuck on the bottom. So we are going to stay single file here.
Green flag, green
The
flag.
green flag is out. Isaac Salas, another good jump, as you see in the blimp cam. Able to get about a car length and a half there, but Mark Gilbert making it back up in the middle of the corner. But Isaac Salas, amazing corner exit. You can see he's really giving it up on corner entry, but the exit speed is phenomenal. He's probably the first person in your picture right there to get back to the gas. It's got a lot to do. Take a look at Kelly Wheeler here, working on the 10th position. He's in 11th right now, trying to get past Trevor Burrow at Wheel 75. You see, he gets him in the middle of the corner, but just there was able to keep up enough straightaway speed to get him. So he did take the 10th position at the line. Seeing more guys now. I think they got close enough to the leaders that they could see what Isaac was doing, and you're seeing a lot of guys, monkey see, monkey do, all those guys in the middle of the pack who were running the top, they moved back down to the bottom, so it makes it that much harder for guys like Jack Clevenger who've gotten in trouble to work their way back up through, and guys have not figured out the fast line on the track. We're not done with track evolution. So we have 45 laps to go. Back up front, Isaac just working on walking that gap back out. Just so smooth on the throttle. Let's ride on board and listen. Almost sounds like a library in that car. You can just hear how quiet it is. Sometimes to go fast, you got to go slow, and the perfect example. He's real slow picking up that gas, just keeping the wheel straight, and you can hear it. You can hear the librarian going shh. And you just got it so quiet in there. Now Sam Bachman not really able to keep that pressure up on Dean Reynolds that he had before the caution came out. Dean not really putting any pressure on Brandon Templeton, but able to keep the gap between him and Sam Bachman right now. And Templeton really throwing it in there and wanted to, almost getting up in the fence. Let's see here if he's going to commit himself to that high line. Let's take a look at the blimp here, Brandon Templeton. Let's see how close he puts that right rear to the wall as he goes and exiting here 3 and 4. Let's see what he does here in 1 and 2. It's super close. You see Dean makes time up on him on entry, but just that huge run of momentum that he gets out. But now Dean really throwing it in there, going to send it. Much goes on that you kind of forget what happens, but my memory just sparked, and I remember I was telling you guys about this 79 earlier, running the bottom when nobody was running it. Guarantee he saved up some tires, and you see he's starting to mount a charge. Caution is out there. Let's see what the caution is here. Seeing Jeff Fitzpatrick possibly. Jack Clevenger. That's going to be in the 90s. Just going to get a little help from the 02, and then Jack Clevenger. Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. All right, let's see this one. Dan McLaren. Oh, wow. Well, even iRacing didn't want to show us that. They got a little upset. They thought it was a little too graphic for us to see. He kept cutting it out. That's a tough break for Dan. I guess they may not have seen the wreck up ahead with them racing 3 wide like that, but boy, they felt the wreck ahead. Came up on them quick. Gonna be anxious to see though if that caution can help out Dean Reynolds, who's really starting to mount the charge. Me personally, if I was him, I would have wanted the caution there. He was coming quick. He, finally found his rhythm, and then they tell you got to take a little break again. It's never what you want to do as a driver when you're, trying to and you're clicking off fast laps and you're reeling in the leader, because Isaac and those guys were definitely starting to slow down just a tick. They're running those low 20-second laps that I was talking about in warm-ups. They're in the 20.16, and Dean Reynolds in the 19.9 still. Saved a little bit, so we'll have to see if he's got anything. While they're off, pace car's off, and Isaac Salas is going to lead him to the green flag here. Another good restart from Mark Gilbert, not really letting Isaac pull that far away from him. Brandon Templeton, meanwhile, all over Trent Verstraeten. Dean Reynolds is going to peek up top. Going to try to make it work. Maybe he did want that caution, tighten him back up, and he's not messing around, ladies and gentlemen. He's going straight to the top, trying to get that momentum. Sam Bachman, though, with a big run on the bottom of 1 and 2, able to get to the door, but not able to stay there at the end of the backstretch. See, Dean's maybe not as strong in 1 and 2 up high as he is in 3 and 4. And then as soon as I say that, I give him the commentator's curse a little bit. It's a little sideways, but he's 3 wide right now for 4th. Randy Shreves in the 56. He says, get out of the way, fellas. Make me some room. He's thinking about making a 3 wide in between Dean and Sam there. Coming real fast is the 56 car, Randy Shreves. Biggest mover right now is 83 of Dylan Kinsey, up 15 spots. And right behind him, the 97 of Butch Baker, also up 15 spots. So they're battling for the hard charger. Right now, oh, and the 83, you guys saw it happen live. 83, little contact going into the corner, and then nowhere for Butch Baker to really go as he gets in the back of him. Yeah, you saw it there. Sorry, having trouble finding that 83 on my score sheet to give us a better view of that. All right, we're going to give her one last try here. What do you say? We got him now. Up in the blimp, and yeah, you just gets turned from behind, but kind of started before all that. Nothing Butch Baker could really do. He's not to blame there. Just kind of a racing incident. You're running out of laps. People are gonna start being a little less nice here. A lot more take, a lot less give. But Isaac Salas, meanwhile, still out front. Mark Gilbert, 017 in second. Your top 5 really has kind of stayed the same. You're seeing new guys peek in the back. Sam Bachman there's still steady in 6, trying to work on Dean Reynolds. Randy Shreves trying to work on Dean and Sam. He looks like a quick car out there, right? Excuse me, right now. Sorry, I'm drinking too much Mountain Dew today. Definitely, we do have some battles going on in the track. This is kind of what we expected here for a little bit. Knew the middle part of this was going to train up a little bit, but hopefully here as we get to like lap 55, 9 to go, or with 20 to go, about 9 or 10 laps here. Should maybe see a little 2 more definitive racing line open up, and hopefully these guys can run hard up top just as hard as they can on the bottom and be competitive. Dean Reynolds is starting to show us that now as the middle is coming back in, so hopefully it'll fight its way and we'll have a good race here as the pace car's off, and the 05 of Isaac Salas is going to lead him to the green flag here. Mark Gilbert with another great start. Brandon Templeton right behind him. He was able to actually get by Trent. Didn't realize that at the line before, so he was able to take over that spot. Brandon Templeton looking on the high side of Mark Gilbert right now. Go ahead, let's take a look in the blimp cam. Let's see if he can maybe beat him to the line. It's going to be Mark Gilbert, it looked like, at the line. Very close, though. Very close. Contact with Trent Verstraeten and Dean Reynolds. That's really going to cost Dean some spots there. Not the time you want to have that happen. Trent's race kind of going a little downhill. He needs to get it back together. He was up there in the third spot, kind of falling apart for him. Brandon Templeton here starting to put the pressure on Mr. Salas with 30 to go. Man, I don't know who you want to give that to at the line. That would have been a photo finish if that was a checkered flag. They're side by side here for the lead. Really throwing it in there, and Isaac's going to pinch him down, doing what he has to do to try to keep that momentum. Oh, and Brandon Templeton throwing it up on the berm, trying to keep it off Isaac. I'll tell you, Isaac really trusts Brandon because in a couple laps, if Brady keeps not getting much room, he may have to throw him the door a little bit. But these things, you know, they got rear fenders.
The yellow flag is out.
Fenders, but a little caution out here. I'm thinking Steven Spees. Billy Roberts, see what I'm seeing? Oh, wow, that's started way before that, I think. Oh, wow, not too sure what happened there. Let's give you a rewind here. Alright, so we saw the contact before. Something happened. Steven Spees. I'm not sure if maybe something was broke, but he saw constant contact from behind and ended up going around. So another caution to add to the list here. It should reset him, give him, what, 28 to go here, 27 to go when we take the green flag. So basically a mini feature here, mini feature of the first of two giant features. Isaac Salas, since the contact with him and Jack Clevenger up front, has been your leader pretty much, but Brandon Templeton is starting to apply a little bit of heat on the 05. Juicy pace lights are off, so we will be going green this time by. Isaac Salas able to get a good jump. Not
Green
really
flag, green flag.
able to beat Brandon Templeton probably as much as he'd like. Brandon's able to just still stay there enough that he could, you know, still peek a nose under Isaac here going into 3 and 4 if he really throws it in. Just going to stay where he is, let it float up, try to keep that momentum as Isaac pinches it down. On board here with Brandon Templeton, trying to see if he, you know, he can't go through Isaac, got to try to go around him, so he's got to try to see what Isaac's doing, model a little different. You see him go try to put the left side tires as close as he can on that tack, right against the berm. But Isaac is not going to give him any room on entry, and that's really gonna help ruin Brandon Templeton's corner exit speed. And that's what Isaac's trying to do. You know, he's not running that line for him. That's not necessarily where Isaac wants to be. But that's, you know, in F1, you know, they call it defensive driving. That's what he's doing. He's just parking the car where it needs to be. Let's go back here to Butch Baker. Up 18 spots. What a run for Butch Baker in the 97s at the fastest. Finally broke the top 10. Kelly Wheeler, another one. He's up 12 spots in the 110. Good run for Kelly Wheeler. Man, Reynolds and Trent back there battling again. Remember, there's a little history. Dean had gotten into the back of Trent just a little bit, not enough to wreck him, but it is kind of why they both lost a little bit of spots. Dean checked up the throttle, did the right thing, but it definitely cost them both. And Templeton just not really having much luck with your leader, Isaac Salas. Isaac really found his groove this time by. Quickest car on the track by about a tenth over everybody else. He's in a 20.04. He's really putting in there now. His caution is out. Greg Marmon. Just kind of, if he was there, maybe the guy wasn't worried. Oh, and Steven Spees carrying all that speed into the corner, nowhere to go. And see, the left front tire is gone from Mr. Spees. Oh my gosh. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Can he make it to the, I guess he's obviously going to try and pit, I'd imagine. Oh, and the right front won't turn either. He's putting on a show for us. Yeah, I think he's trying to figure out how he can maybe set that thing up to get into the pits. I'm not going to be the first person to pretend to know what they're doing down there. I'm wondering if they're maybe trying to cool their tires, get them in the mud. I'm not, I know previous iRacing builds, you know, that wasn't really in there, but now they do have tire temps added to dirt. So I'm not too sure how going down there and running in the mud, if that'll cool them off or not, but might be what they're trying to do. Lights are off on the pace car this time by, so Isaac Salas will be firing here. We'll have 19 to go when we take the green. Brandon Templeton gonna hope to get a little better restart, try to put the pressure on Isaac, because it just seems if he can't get to Isaac before Isaac gets the motor wound up, Isaac walks away a little bit. He had that one run where he let the guys reel him in 20 laps ago. Other than that, Isaac has been the car to beat.
Green, green, green.
Jumper leader Isaac Salas, Brandon Templeton going to try to look up high early. But like I said earlier, that's not ideally when you want to do it on turn 1 and 2 of the restart lap. You just don't have the speed to do it yet. And, I mean, there you see he did tuck right up on the back. Isaac was able to tuck in behind him, but it's almost one of those, you know, unless you plan on moving the guy, you don't want to get too close behind him, because one little mistake from the leader, you get caught up in that. The guy in third goes around both you guys, so you need a little bit of reaction time. You know, as much as you think like, yeah, I want to be right there, taking the air off the front end of your car, that does affect the handling. You need to leave that little bit of space. Isaac just doing a great job of letting the car float up right now. Let's go back and check out the battle for fifth here. Kelly Wheeler in the 110 and Dean Reynolds in the 79. Dean trying to find a way around him. I just don't think the high side's the place to be. You don't really see any of your leaders doing it right now. They're only doing it if they have to. Dean's really trying to make it work. Got to applaud it. Trent Verstraeten as well, trying to make up the spots back that he lost, but it's just so hard to do on the outside. It's just such a long way around here. And as it starts to slick over on entry, you really lose your straightaway speed as Randy Shreves comes up the track a little bit and maybe pinches Trent in the wall. Trent is not having your best night here tonight. Go back up front. Brandon Templeton kind of keeping that distance, not really catching him, not really losing him. You know, he definitely is losing him a little more than he's catching, but it's so small. Right now, it's not really noticeable. You notice it over about the span of 5 laps or so, but Brandon's really got to get his head down and try to go put some pressure on him. Butch Baker now at 20 spots up to the 8th position. He's working on the 56 of Randy Shreves. Butch just really keeping his car on the bottom, just, you know, making it work, surviving through these wrecks, doing a good job of keeping the car clean and just not being overly aggressive. And you see it pays off, up 20 spots tonight. Back up front, Isaac Salas, almost out to a 3/4 of a second gap. You really see he's starting to really pull away now, and that's going to wear on Brandon. You know, you see him, but there's just nothing you can do, no matter how hard you drive the car, no matter how slow you drive the car. It just seems like that 5 car is just pulling away from you as you see the gap increasing off corner exit. That's where Isaac is really strong. See other cars catch him on entry, but it's just so demoralizing. You know, you run it in there real hard, you think, yeah, I'm getting him. But when you just start to lift off the gas, that's when Isaac is getting back in it. He's backing up the corners that extreme. And the straightaway speed really pays off. That's where you need to be fast. You need to be fast going in the straight line. Jeff Fitzpatrick, he's had a couple run-ins tonight too. He's still up 14 spots. Good night for Jeff as they're 3 wide behind him. Brian Lawson, Jack Clevenger, and Harold Klump on the high side. Harold Klump putting it real close to that wall. Definitely losing a lot of time on corner entry, but big time gain on corner exit. Jack Clevenger, you see, kind of backed out of it on the bottom. I think he wants to try to regroup. It's really tough to. It's already hard enough to pass on the bottom when you're doing it 2 wide, but when you're 3 wide and you have no room to float up on corner exit, it's so hard to get the job done here. As Brian Lawson, he got the job done in the middle and good pass there from way back up front. Brandon Templeton is reeling in your leader. Slowly but surely, that was up to 3/4 of a second gap. He's got it down to 4/10 of a second there as we enter turns 3 and 4. Six to go this time by Brandon Templeton. This is the closest he's been. He does not want a caution right now. All over your leader, Isaac Salas. As you see, there's a lap car in front of your leader. 2 lap cars, actually. As Brandon Templeton, we're going to go on board here. He is all over him. He's going to throw it in there. And he's going to park it on the leader. It's a good slide job. Isaac Salas is going to look for the crossover. Oh, and Brandon Templeton tries the counter back in the middle of the corner, but Isaac parked it on him, did the smart thing, kept it on the bottom. And I mean, Brandon did not want to wreck Isaac, but that made the lead go to 8/10 of a second. If Isaac doesn't have some trouble, that may have just won the race for the leader. Brandon may need a caution now. Ian Reynolds back there in the 6th position. Still trying to make that high side work, but Randy Shreves looking down low, trying to get by. Butch Baker there as well, your biggest mover you see right behind Randy Shreves. Trying to push Randy on by. Dean. Brandon Templeton now passing lap traffic. Just not going to have enough time to get to your leader, Isaac Salas, I don't believe here, as we're 2 to go. Coming out of 4, your leader, Isaac Salas, will be getting the white flag this time by. Isaac Salas just keeping it on the bottom in 1 and 2, just trying to drive a mistake-free here on the last lap. Just going to take it easy. Keep it on the bottom, Isaac. Don't overdrive it. Coming out of turn 4, Your winner of the first of two 75-lap features tonight, Isaac Salas in the 05, followed by Brandon Templeton in the 31, Mark Gilbert in the 17, Michael Vitale in the 213, Kelly Wheeler round out your top 5. Finishing 6th is Dean Reynolds, 7th is the 97 of Butch Baker. On it. It clicked off on. Oh yeah, but I'll be able to do it here. Never mind. And 8th is Randy Shrews in the 56th. 9th is the 075 of Trevor Giroux, and finishing 10th is the 107 of Samuel Bachman. Alrighty, so like I said earlier, this was going to go straight into the race. This is the final. We'll get some interviews after this. I doubt I'll even have the memory to be able to pull up the top 3 from the first one. So plan on just hearing interviews from this final race this evening. But pull you up here. Let me get a car on first. Yeah, your starting grid, that's going to be the way that they finish. So I'm going to start at 11th here to try to speed it up. Starting 11th here, though, 88 to Trent Straighten on the outside into 71 to John Hine. Starting at 13th to 41 to Pat Boyce. Starting at 14th to 9 to Brian Lawson. Starting 15th to 513 to Jeff Barker. 16th to 78 to Jack Clevenger. 17th to 90 of Jeff Fitzpatrick. 18th to 76 of Harold Plum. 19th to 083 of Dylan Kinsey. 20th is the 118 of Logan Morris. Followed by, gonna have to read these off here quick. This jumped around. We'll go Gary Offit, Greg Parmley, Steven Spees, Billy Roberts, Donovan Ross, Jake Henry, Dan McLaren, Pat Boyce, Chris Alvey, Brian Dickens, Jason Butterfield, and Dan McLaren. I believe maybe we had a couple people not make the grid here. Maybe calling it quits on. We're happy with running one race tonight. Yeah, I'm only seeing 24 cars on the track. Lights should be off now. Should be getting ready to go green this time by. Or winner there, the last race, Isaac Salas, going to be your pole sitter here in the final 75-lap feature. If you're cautioned tonight, I'll probably throw us to one quick break so I can run to the bathroom here quick. But other than that, I'll be here with you all night, and we'll bring you interviews here at the conclusion of the event. As the pace car pulls off, let's go in the blimp cam here, and I'll shut my mouth for this green flag.
Green, green, green.
As you see the fireworks there, the driver's getting a little bit of a show along with the crowd. Isaac Salas with a good run in 1 and 2. This is where Brandon Templeton, I think he's got to be licking his chops. The first one, obviously we were racing for pride. This one's for the money. And he was the quickest car there at the end, it seemed like, unless Isaac was saving a little something. Everybody's back to new tires now, so that's going to change a little bit too. Everybody put on new tires there, and that starts to change. It will definitely affect the handling, but I imagine Grant Templeton's got to be happy with his hot rod right now and where he's sitting. Jeff Barker up 3 spots already in 1 lap. 513, he's really running the bottom. What's going on over here? He's out catfishing down there on the bottom. Expensive firework displays. You see Jeff Barker going by, still shooting off some fireworks. The front still lined up through the front 7 or 8 guys. Just most of them, trying to, I imagine, just save their stuff. Even if they think the high line's there right now, no point in being up front. Right now, these laps aren't important. Even Isaac knows that. I'm sure he doesn't really care. He gets fast right now. He doesn't want it to happen by any means. You want to set the pace, but right now it's you're driving against yourself. You're not really worried about anybody else out on the track. You're just you and your equipment. You want to make sure you have something for the last 25 laps. Brandon Templeton all over the 5 of Isaac Salas. He's just able to, we saw Jeff Parker do it. I showed you his own onboard. Brandon Templeton is doing the same thing, but doesn't have as much pressure in front of him. He can go up there and get into Isaac a little bit. There's not a pack of 4 cars in front of Isaac. You see Isaac goes over the berm a little bit, but Brandon just not able to go in and capitalize. Trying to go in there, he hooks up that left front right there on the berm. Helps you turn a little bit, but you see it cost him a little bit in the middle of the corner. You don't want to lose that much speed. Jeff Parker again. He's still your biggest mover up first. Or actually, Billy Roberts in the 99, your biggest mover right now, up 8 spots in the 99. See what he's got done. He's driving Brian Lawson right now. Even clear Brian Lawson just barely. Brian probably doing the smart thing, maybe backing out of the gas a little bit, knowing, don't need a race right now. We're side by side here for 3rd place. Mark Gilbert and Kelly Wheeler in the 110, looking on the high side. Kelly's really just trying to really pinch Mark down and trying to keep him from getting runs off the corner. Like I say, that's how you saw Isaac prevent Brandon from passing him earlier. That's what you got to do. If it's your teammate, maybe you want to be the nice guy, let him by. But, trying to pass, you got to pinch the guy down. And, yeah, you may get doored and, you may get mad about it after. But that's what you got to do if you want to make the slower line work. You got to take the faster line's full line away. And then that's what he's doing. He's not letting the top people float up on exit like your leader and Brandon did. As you see, they float out the whole way to the wall. That's such a big deal. If you can't float out, you're cutting down so much momentum. Back here in the OD, Trent Straight. Let's see what he's doing. So closest battle on track right now. Probably this big pack here. Got some guys going up high, some guys going low. For the most part, I think they maybe got themselves sick of the cautions earlier, and they're behaving themselves. Steven Spees looks low on the 9 of Brian Lawson. Lawson able to try to pinch him down. He sees he's not even going to float it up as early as he could. Really wants to cut that momentum down on the 55, but the 55 is doing such a good job on corner entry. Able to float up in front of the 9, and he's going to clear him. Oh, a little contact there. Dean Reynolds tries to look on the outside of the 075 of Trevor Giroux. Sound like a broken record, but you see Dean, he's not really pinching him as much on corner entry, and he is letting him float up a little bit. But you see when he floated up there, you noticed Dean was there, and instead of floating up into him, he got a little siders and got back down. But Dean just maybe not being as aggressive on the high side as he could be, but it's a little early, so I totally understand if you're on Dord and you'd rather hang out where you are than maybe get a fender and lose 5 or 6 spots. Still, the battle is on for 3rd place. You see him, Butch Baker. He was your biggest mover last race. Up 20-some spots. He just made a little contact with the 17 of Mark Gilbert. But boy, is he fast right now. I mean, he is just trying to find a way through. This is your battle on the track right now for 3rd place. This is as good as it gets. Almost a third of the way through here, your 75 lap final feature event for the night. presented to you once again in honor of Dagen, Korynta and the Make-A-Wish Foundation. If you're watching, and we definitely appreciate more donations in Dagen's name, that would be awesome. You go to c2crl.com to find the donation link. Great cause, and we still do have another night of charity racing left for you after this. We've got the Marty Sakala New Year's Eve special, so don't miss out New Year's Eve. I'll be on the track, Marty will be on the track, there'll be a bunch of us out there. Make sure you're back with us New Year's Eve for some racing action before you go watch your ball drop. Battle is still on though. Butch Baker now is feeling some heat behind him. Michael Vitale. Sam Bachman peeking below the 075 of Trevor Giroux, trying to throw it in there, get another spot. All over the 79 of Dean Reynolds there, his corner entry. Dean really gets good exit. You see Sam is one of the quicker cars on entry, but it hurts him a little bit on exit. As you see there, didn't have the exit speed. 213 of Michael Vitale able to slam the door. Let's go back up front as Brandon Templeton starts to catch your leader. Right on board for a lap or two here. Isaac gets a little sideways. Helps Brandon really close that gap. I mean, Isaac sneezes right now. Brandon's going to hear it as we get our first caution of the night here. Trent versus Straighten. Let's see if we can get a replay here. Oh wait, no, not Trent versus Straighten. It was maybe Trent wrecked into a wreck. Below here in the 075. As we go quarter speed here. Just gets a little sideways. And then, I mean, it's just a traffic jam. Parking lot behind him. Nowhere for everyone to go. And you see the aftermath. Tough break. Let's go on board. Yeah, maybe a little help from behind actually to hear it rev up there. Maybe the rear tires got lifted off the ground. Tough break, but long green flag run there. Some good racing, and Brandon Templeton just starting to make it interesting. Running down your leader, Isaac Salas. Don't go anywhere, folks. It's just starting to heat up as we're a little over a third of the way here in your final feature of the night. If you're watching out there in the chat, let us know who you're rooting for, who you think's going to win this event. Say top 3 pays out money tonight, so let us know what you think here. Who you're rooting for, where you're from, where you're watching from. I believe Pace Light should be out this time by. And yeah, you see them going double file here. They're behaving themselves so far this race, so this will be a double file restart. Leader does get to choose his line, and Isaac, I think, doing the right thing here, choosing the bottom. You saw that's where the leaders were, and he'll be able to get the jump. I'd like to say, I've been saying it all night, the cars are not up to full song here whenever they just get on them for the first time coming out of 3 and 4, so it's really tough to run the high side effectively here, lap 1 of the restart. So I think Isaac is doing the right thing, and Brandon's just going to be right there trying to get a jump. Good jump by Brandon. Not letting the 17 of Mark Gilbert get below him. That was his main battle on the track there. Wanted to make sure no one gets below him, but as I say that, Mark Gilbert with a big run, not able to put the fender under the D-temp, shuts the door and is able to hold on to second. Dean Reynolds now up to 5th. Butch Barker, though, Butch Baker, don't sleep on him. I like to say, your biggest mover last race, and that thing has looked like a missile. I mean, he's been trying to peak in the middle of cars going 2 and 3 wide, and just feels like he's got a rocket ship. He's been putting that places in cars places where most people wouldn't even think about it. So definitely likes what he's got. I have to put some flames on my car that makes it drive like that. We're on board here with Butch Baker. And you can see, you definitely can't ever really tell whenever you're in a train who you're faster than, but you can see the runs that he gets, and he's definitely faster than someone in this train if he's able to pull up that much in the center of the corner, because one thing to make up time on a guy on entry, but if you're back in the gas before everyone else and you're making up time, that's a big deal. As we saw a little contact there between him and the 79 of Dean Reynolds, and that let Michael Vitale get up high on Butch Baker, and now Butch is really going to have to throw it in there. Because as we saw earlier, if you get pinched down, as Michael did to him there, it is tough to complete the pass, and Michael is really holding him down there, giving him no room whatsoever. And it's definitely a little frustrating if you're the 97, you feel like you're very fast, you've gotten in the back of Dean Reynolds, who I know is maybe not technically a teammate, but they're good buddies. That's not somebody who you want to run over, so you're going to make sure that you're checking up, but now, you know, losing spots and getting out of your line, it's really going to frustrate him here as he sees he loses a spot to Michael Vitale, and now Samuel Bachman's going to be all over him. As you go back up to the battle for the lead, Brandon Templeton trying to just keep up with Isaac Salas, able to stay within, you know, that half a second gap, but not really able to put the pressure on him like we saw at the end of the first long green flag run. Let's go on board here with Brandon for a little bit. Trying out new lines, got to try to make something else work. He's just not, you know, he knows that if he does even get under Isaac, unless he maybe throws him the door, that Isaac is going to pinch him, so it's going to be really hard to get it done. You probably saw him go high just to experiment a little bit, and you see he does have a little gap there on third place Mark Gilbert, so get a couple laps to play around with a little bit of comfort. But you see this front five, they're all right there. Any trouble with the front two, and any one of those front five could win this race right now. Billy Roberts still in the 99. He's your big mover, up 14 spots currently in the 12th spot. Steven Speed right behind him, up 10 spots in the 55. Jack Clevenger, another one to keep your eyes on. He was, remember, the leader of the first 75 lappers before a little bit of contact between him and Isaac Salas, so don't really know what pace he had. That was kind of early on, but he did have a fast car at one point in time, so definitely look for that to translate a little bit. And then Templeton slowly trying to reel in your leader, Isaac Salas, 0.09 of a second faster that last lap. You see, he's right there. One mistake from your leader, and Brandon could pounce. Oh, contact with John Hine. Go back and see a little bit of aftermath of that. Everybody seems to be going straight. John Hine and Dylan Kinsey somehow kept it going after we saw a little bit of the contact. But we stay green as we're over halfway. .32 to go this time by. Isaac Salas, rear view mirror full of second place Brandon Templeton. Let's run off the gearbox of the leader here. Let's see what he sees if he's got that rear view mirror turned on. Boy, it would be neat if these things had backup cameras in it. If you ever find yourself on iRacing and you do any GT3s or any LMPs, some of those are nice. They have their rear cameras if you ever find yourself road racing. And you basically get a view like this if you peek over at your dash while you're racing. It's very neat, the technology in cars these days. But see, he gets in the wall a little bit. Was pulling away from Brandon a little bit. Had a great exit in 3 and 4, but you see getting in the wall. That'll cost him some time there. Let's go back here at your 5th place position, Dean Reynolds. He sees Kelly Wheeler trying to work on Mark Gilbert in front of him.
The yellow flag is out.
Caution is out. Jack Clevenger. See if I can get your replay here. 55 and Steven Squeeze and Trevor Giroux got together a little bit. And then Jack Clevenger just gets in the wall by himself, nowhere for the 55 to go. And round goes to 78. I'm going to have to ask these guys. They know a little bit more than me. I'm a little bit of rookie when it comes to driving these, but I am curious to see is why they want to go on the bottom of the track like that, because it is a fixed setup, and theoretically, you know, you burn off gas, the car gets lighter. Everybody's got plenty of gas. They put plenty of gas in the setup, so you would think in theory you'd want to take the longest way around the track, and you're cautioned to burn a little bit more fuel off. But like I say, it might be something they might be, you know, packing the tires with that fresh mud, maybe trying to keep the heat in it a little bit. Not too sure. That man in the 5 car, he'll know. That guy, he knows everything about these things. So if we can get him here in the top 3, if he can hold on to it, we'll have to ask him what's going on. Lights are off on the pace car, I believe. Should be going green this time by as they double up. Isaac Salas, your leader, going to choose the bottom again. As you say, I think is the right call. Being the leader, you get to control the restarts. You're almost guaranteed that even if you wanted the high side, if you start on the bottom shortest way around, you're almost guaranteed to get the jump on the leader unless you really mess up on the restart. Let's go in the Chapman drone cam here.
Green flag, green flag.
And that's the start that Mark Gilbert wanted. Able to get door to door with Brandon Templeton on the bottom. Brandon's not going to have a big run here on this first lap. Not going to have a whole lot of speed as the engine isn't up to song yet. So Mark's got to try to make it work here. And at the same time, Brandon's got to be a little bit more aggressive here on corner exit. Got to pinch him down. Can't let him float up. As you see, he starts to run. Pitches him down in there, going in the corner, lets him know, like, hey, man, you ain't going to run the middle. You got to go down here, son. This is going to be my track, and that's what he's got to do. He's got to hold strong. Floating up like that on corner exit, that's really going to give Mark room to come up. And you see, instead of binding down, he's going to be able to keep that speed up. Brandon, I know he's entranced by that tack up there, but almost a little bit too long a way around right now. You really want to run that middle and pinch him down like Isaac did to him. You see, we got a heck of a battle for second going on as I think Brandon just beats him to the line that time by. Battle is on for 4th place as well between Kelly Wheeler and Dean Reynolds. Kelly Wheeler, I believe, you know, he's running, I think, that little more effective top line. Brandon is just, he's floating a little too high up there. He's still there. He's still pestering Mark. Just, he wants to go up there and really wind it up. He's getting in the gas early, but it's just so far. And you've lost so much speed. As you see, the track looks like glass on corner entry. You can't be full throttle through that or you're going to go sideways. So by the time, oh man, CC's really going to send it in there. He's throwing it in hard. finally enough to clear Mark at the line there. Maybe the high line is coming back here as we're coming to 20 to go, but Brandon puts the right rear in the wall. Not enough to really slow him down as they're still side by side going down the backstretch here with 21 to go, or 22 to go, 21 to go this time by. But your leader, Isaac Salas, is loving every second of this if he sees in the mirror. Up to almost a 2-second gap without a caution. It's going to be really tough to run him down now, even if they single file out. Brandon Templeton really giving it all he can there. I think if you're Mark, you really like the bottom, but you almost have to consider in 1 and 2 where you're getting that good run on the bottom. You've got to consider throwing a slider on Brandon and just trying to park it on him right in the middle of the corner to cut that momentum off so you can single file out. As Mark Gilbert gets on the apron, and that's going to allow Brandon Templeton to clear, but Brandon, I don't know, realized he was clear or not, or maybe he's just committed to the high side as a caution is out. Michael Vitale. Going to Glimp here. As you see, just contact in front of him led to him checking up, which led to Butch Baker, I think, getting in the back of him a little bit, but nothing they could really do there. Wheeler and Reynolds. Vitale tries to check up, nowhere for Butch Baker to go. It's just a racing deal, tough deal. Gonna restack the field though. Should give us like a 17-18 lap shootout here. So hopefully we keep her green. That's exactly what Templeton wanted. I'm not sure on the caution limit. We might be going to single file, which is what Brandon Templeton wants, because that restart for Mark Gilbert was absolutely phenomenal last time around. Possibly have the 1 to go this time by. Yep, lights are off on the pace car, so as they come out of turn 2 here, the pace car will get ready to dive into the pits here in the middle of 3 and 4, and the 05 of Isaac Salas will lead us here to your green flag start. Go to the Chapman Racing drone here. Good jump for Isaac Salas in the 5. Kelly Wheeler kind of caught sleeping there in 4th, not really anywhere near the front 3. Tough break for him and the guys behind him. That's really going to cost them. But Butch Baker up to 5th. Anxious to see if maybe turn the heat on. He's really fast there in the first 75 lap feature. Billy Roberts in your 99. Up 19 spots up to P7. He's really quick right now, all over the 79 of Dean Reynolds. But Brandon Templeton trying to catch Isaac Salas as we come by this time, 16 to go. Billy Roberts still trying to find a way around the 79 of Dean Reynolds. This baby back into that throttle. Meanwhile, Isaac Salas, your leader, is just walking away, even without any battles going on in the track. Almost out to a 3/4 second lead again. He's just so fast right now. He's putting it right in the slick. just all about throttle control when you're driving around in that slick. Let's ride on board with him for a lap. Just listen to this. You guys don't have the fine detail that I have, but on my sound bar, you can just see the difference when I ride on board with Isaac. His car is so much quieter in the middle of the corner with everyone, so he's not even getting up to my yellow of the volume. Like, it's barely picking up desktop volume. Everybody else, they're, you know, half a decibel higher. They're just really revving that car, and that just shows you you don't need to hear the engine to go fast. It's all about making sure your tires are stuck to that track surface and they're actually applying the grip, because I mean, a lot of that sound, that can just be mental. That can just be, you know, the RPMs from your tires spinning and you're not actually having any grip. Reynolds got a little bit of gap there on the 99 now. The 99 was all over him in the previous couple laps, trying to run down the 97 of Butch Baker, trying to finish in the top 5. Coming by this time for the leader. We will have 5 or 10 to go. Just slowly and steadily increasing that gap every lap. It's just been a fractional faster than Brandon Templeton. Just a little hundredth of a second here, 200ths of a second there, just edging him out. Last time by, Isaac Salas with a 20.16, Brandon Templeton with a 20.2. Next closest is Steven Spies with a 20.2. So, I mean, guys running 20.4s, even some running 20.5s. Lap times have really fell off. They've really fallen off, and it's all about throttle control right now. Number 55 is Steven Spies' fastest car. Last time around, it's right on board. Car coming to the stop in the infield. Gary off it, far enough off the track, we're not going to have a caution. They keep rolling. Steven just really trying to roll that bottom, trying to make it work any way he can. Randy Shoes as he touches the wall a little bit going down the backstretch. Racing in front of him, though. Let's see what we can see up here off Dean Reynolds. They're 2 wide in front of him. Butch Baker and Kelly Wheeler. Butch Baker trying to pass for that 4th position, trying to get around the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. Out front, your leader, Isaac Salas, has got the gap with the 1.3, so we're going to pay attention to this battle right now, the battle for P4, as Butch Baker was able to just apply enough pressure to Kelly Wheeler, pinch him down there using that middle groove, and he is going to take over P4. As Butch Baker says he wants a podium, he wants to get on that top step, or wants to get on that podium step with his teammate Isaac Salas. Isaac Salas is the gap up to 1.4 seconds as you see him coming here out of 4, as we'll have 3 to go this time by. Back to the 97 of Butch Baker. You're going to see if he can try and work on Mark Gilbert here for your 3rd position. See, just not having much luck catching him. Those were 2 to go. Isaac Salas with a 1.5 second lead still. He's just got to take it as easy as he can here. He's really hoping that he doesn't see any yellow flags here as he comes out of 4. Looking to take the white flag final time around, this time by. Isaac Salas in the 05. Just going to run nice and smooth there on the bottom of 1 and 2. Still pulls away from your 2nd place car, Brandon Templeton, as he comes out of turn 4 for your final time of your 2nd feature, 75 laps. Isaac Salas on the 05 gets it done. 2 features in a row, followed by Brandon Templeton, Mark Gilbert, Butch Baker, and Kelly Wheeler round out your top 5. Wow, we had some good racing here tonight. A little bit of Little bit of wrecking going on in the first 75 laps, but the boys settled down here and they gave us a great show there for those last couple laps. We've got Dean Reynolds giving a quick congratulations to Isaac Salas there in the 5. Yeah, as you can see, there are a lot of people who respect Isaac. A lot of congratulations going to him, and that was a good run for the guy in the 05 here. Let's see, we'll give them a little bit of time here to roll up in the waiting room. We'll go ahead and get them in here for their interviews when they get up here. Let's give you a quick round out of the top 10, though, while we're waiting for them. Got Isaac Salas, your winner. Brandon Templeton in the 31. Mark Gilbert finishing 3rd, rounding out your podium. Butch Baker in the 97 finishing 4th. Kelly Wheeler in the 110 rounding out your top 5. And we have Dean Reynolds in the 79. Billy Roberts in the 99, your biggest mover, up 19 spots, finishing 7th. Randy Shreves in the 56, finishing 8th. Steven Spees up 14 spots, finishing 9th. And Jeff Fitzpatrick rounding out the top 10. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull up the 17 here, Mark Gilbert. Alrighty, sorry about that. Mark Gilbert, Zach Chapman in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, Zach, I got you.
Well, man, you got a lot to talk about, I guess, tonight. First 75 lap race, quite a caution fest. You were a driver in there. You got to witness it, be a part of it. But this second feature, man, you guys were throwing sliders on each other. There was a lot of good racing. Talk to us about it.
This event was a ton of fun. I mean, this might be the first 150 lap race I've ran, and I tell you, it's a bit of a workout, especially when you're side by side. I think I was side by side with Kelly Wheeler there for, I don't know, 20, 30 laps in the second one, and then I had a 15 lap stint there with Brandon, and I mean, it was all clean, it was all fun, and man, it was a really good time.
Yeah, Mark, it looked like it was a good time. Like you said, I mean, I was trying to catch all of it, but you guys were side by side, and tell us a little bit about if you were that guy on the high side. It seemed like you had to almost run the middle, like you couldn't run the top there at the end, or you would let the guy float up too much on exit. Did you have to pinch the guy down to really affect their corner exit speed?
You definitely did, especially like on entry, right? Because if you come in too shallow or not shallow enough, you would just ride the top, and then the guy on the bottom would get the run. So it seems like every time on the bottom, you had to be mindful of that guy on the top might be pinching you down, but at the same time, is like if he pinches you down too much, he's taking your entry line away. So, but all in all, like up in the towards the front, I can say it was clean and fun, and I can't speak for the rest of the race, but up there it was great. It was great between us 4, 5, 6 guys.
Well, man, congratulations on your 3rd place finish, Mark. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and we love doing these charity races. It's so awesome to be able to do this for Make a Wish Foundation and the Korynta family. But who would you like to thank on your 3rd place finish there?
First off, I gotta thank everybody over at Nitro Racing, kind of new startup crew over there. I'm driving for them nowadays, and RCP Cockpits. Eric over there, he's got me in this nice rig. W Energy for the focus concentration to get me through these races. Isaac, he always helps me out with these big blocks, small blocks. I don't run them as much as I used to, so to get back in here and to be competitive is fun, and I gotta thank Isaac for that. And then you guys for putting on this race, the Make a Wish Foundation. What a great thing to donate money to. Heartfelt stories, all around. So congratulations to Brandon on his 2nd place finish and Isaac on the win. I'm sure they're pretty stoked as well.
Well, we're happy to have you here, Mark, and thanks for joining us tonight. And congratulations on your 3rd place finish. That's Mark Gilbert
All
in
right.
the 17. I just realized his Discord number is 17. I don't think. Oh wait, no, yeah, he was 17. All right, good. I got lucky. All right, let's pull up the 31 here. Brandon Templeton, your second place finisher. Hey, Brandon. Zach Chapman in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Zach.
Well, man, you had a heck of a battle there with Isaac at the end of that first 75 lap feature. It looked like you maybe had something for him, but that contact with a couple laps to go really benefited him. It didn't seem like you were able to wind him back in. But in the second feature here, it seemed like, you stuck with him for the most part, maybe trying to save your stuff. But I think what kind of hurt you there was, with a restart or two to go, Mark Gilbert was able to get on your inside. Talk to us a little bit about the battle you had with Mark.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Pretty much when I got stuck on the outside, it's all I could do to hold the position was just go just about wide open. I was letting off the gas still quite a bit, but compared to the bottom, I was in the gas a lot and felt like I was probably using up a lot of tires. So that probably did hurt me a little bit, but it was a little bit of a train race. But you'll have that a little bit with Knoxville, and especially a really long race. There was starting to be a little bit of rubber at the end. It was starting to feel kind of funny in the corners, but it was a good night. Great thing for Dagen and for the Make a Wish Foundation. Hopefully everyone jumps in there and donates a little bit if they haven't already. It was a great event.
Yeah, you said it, Brandon, because, man, at the end of the day, dude, that's what this week's all about. Dagen's family and the Make-A-Wish Foundation, it's awesome that we can put on stuff like this and raise money for such an awesome cause. But got anybody you want to thank on the second place position tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank Jay with the Dirt Track Bank. What they're doing to support our team and support Joe with what he's got going on Fridays is really great. And Jay's just a great guy supporting dirt racing all around my area, so that's really cool. The guys on the team, Hammer Down Racing, Joe, Kurt, Brian, and Brandon. It's great to have Brandon Aylesworth on board, and looking forward to racing with him a lot in the future and trading some ideas. And thanks to Extreme Images, Maylee's Makery, Big C's Lawn Care, you for doing the broadcast, Extreme E-Speed for putting all this on and helping out. So thanks to Piercefield for that, and Make a Wish Foundation, man. Everyone get out there, put some little bit of money in if you got a little bit, in memory of Dagen Korynta. It's a cool deal, so join in on that.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Brandon, on your second place position. It's awesome having you for these things. And like Brandon said, if you guys are watching, go to c2crl.com. You can find the link to donate in Dagen's name, and we really appreciate you watching. And congratulations, Brandon.
Thank you.
Alrighty, let's pull up your winner here, Isaac Salas. Hey, Isaac, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, able to pull the double, man. It seemed like Brandon maybe had something for you in the first 75 laps. He was all over you there at the end, but a little contact, and I don't think he wanted to turn you, so he checked out and, pretty much gave that one to you. But at the second one, man, as this track rubbered up, it didn't seem like anybody could run the slick like you. And I was running your onboard. Man, your throttle control is a work of art compared to everybody else. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, in that first race, I was starting to get, the nerves were starting to come out towards the end there. And I knew that I had a run and I was going to try to keep the bottom protected. And I don't think Brandon was prepared for me to try to just wrap the bottom. So I was so slow on the bottom when I had been running slider line, basically the last 20, 30 laps. So I apologize. It probably could have been a lot cooler finish in the first one, but I appreciate not wrecking. I appreciate the fact we still finished 1-2 in that one. And 3 and 4, man, it was all about just trying to keep my tires. I knew that it was going to be a struggle with the fact that Brandon was up there already, and I knew that a lot of the faster guys had made their way towards the front there, and it was going to be a battle. And through the slick, man, it was just very minuscule adjustments, I guess, to be honest with you. It was very tedious, if you want to call it that. It was very tedious driving, and to make sure that I just kind of hit my marks.
Definitely sounded like it, man. I compared when I was in your onboard. It sounded like I was sitting in a freaking public library. It was so quiet in that thing going through the corners. But you had it singing going down the straightaway. Well, congratulations on your win, Isaac. You got anybody you want to thank on the first place?
Yeah. Well, big shout out to Coast to Coast and putting this event on for Make-A-Wish Foundation. I know that the Korynta family hopefully really enjoys this, and I know that I actually lived really close to them without ever knowing. So it's kind of crazy to think that it can be so close to you, but you never know, and kind of makes you appreciate your life a little bit more, and makes you thankful for the people that are in it. Thank you to all my guys who are Venom Racing. It was definitely a good little showing for us for once, so that's cool. I know Butch is starting to just get hot in these mods, so that's pretty awesome. Thank you, Dean,
You
Super
said it.
Dirt
He
Car
was up
Series.
20 spots in that first
I
race.
know.
I was
That's
keeping an eye on
insane.
him in this second feature. He really was. I mean, it was one of them. I was riding on board with him too, and he almost looked like he was getting a little slowed down by the cars in front of him. I would have liked to seen him in second, and maybe see if he could have had something for you, if he could have seen your racing line, because Butch looked real good tonight, man.
Yeah, he sounded excited on the mic, so it's always good to hear those guys do good. Come on, man. And Mark in third too. I mean, it's two teammates battling for the final podium spot, so I can't complain about that in the slightest. So big congrats to all of us. And it's always fun to come out here and race with them on a Thursday. Thank you to Magnum Race Designs with Brian for that beautiful Super Dark Car Series car. Got Your Six Racing Network. RSN Trackside. Everybody with Mission 22. My Gramps and Top Notch Trucking. Thank you, Zach, for the broadcast, man. It's fun to kind of watch, and it's a little bit better to not have to race against you, because you kind of beat me sometimes, so that ain't cool.
Well, there's no
Like,
driving line, and I think the sound worked all night tonight. So I think
there
I
you
think
go.
I hit it for 100%. So we'll see.
We're heading the right direction. Then it's perfect.
But
Yeah, I mean, other than that, just thanks to my friends. I know that I'm pretty sure my parents, my Gramps, and my girlfriend are all watching for sure. So thank you to them as well.
Well, congratulations, Isaac. You had a good car tonight, and you're gonna race with us for the last one of this. Are you gonna make it for New Year's Eve?
I'm gonna try like hell.
Alrighty, man.
So
Well,
we'll see.
hopefully I'm driving next to you then. But
Oh
that's
yeah, so you can
Isaac
beat me
Salas in
again.
the 05, and congratulations, man. You put on a show tonight.
Awesome. Thank you, Zach.
Alrighty, well, that's going to wrap it up for you guys tonight. Amazing racing, as you saw. Good battles at the end of the first feature. Isaac really talked about it a little bit in his interview. Kind of he apologized, but that was nothing to apologize for. He gave a master class on how to trick that guy into thinking you're going to throw a slider, and he just locked it down, held the bottom, and did enough to shut the door. And with having his teammate behind him on the restart, was able to help him out with Brandon Templeton there at the end, help Brandon burn up his stuff, and you saw the product. Two Venom guys on the podium tonight, and Brandon Templeton with two strong second-place runs. So on behalf of Coast to Coast Racing, and everybody watching, I'd like to say thank you. Zach Chapman, huge shout-out to the Korynta family and the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Hopefully we can get that donation total up. If you're out there watching, go to c2crl.com. Hit the donate button. Donate what you can. $5, $2, heck, $1. Every little bit helps, because helping some little kid serve his dreams. So, like I said, on behalf of Coast to Coast Racing, I'm Zach Chapman, and I'll be signing out. And try to join us again on New Year's Eve. Have a good evening.